Hello, this is BGFH, back again for another game video. And this time we're going to take a look at another puzzle game. In the last video we took a look at a little puzzle game called 10 Million. And this time I'm going to show you a classic, or a modern classic anyway, Puzzle Quest. This game has been released, it came out originally, I believe, in like 2007 or 2008, one of the two, and I want to say maybe 2007, but since then this Puzzle Quest has come out on pretty much every platform you could think of, any modern platform you could think of, PC, tablets, phones. Nintendo DS had a port. I think even some of the consoles. I think the Wii had one. I don't remember if the PS3 or well, actually the 360 one they had a port on Xbox Live Arcade. So it's everywhere. It's very easy to get. I'm playing again the Steam version. And when this game came out, the whole idea sort of intrigued me. You know, one of the things about puzzle games is that you have, you know, I mean, I love me some classic Tetris. I mean, that's one of my favorite games ever. But, you know, puzzle games, yeah, they kind of start to feel samey. You know, you've got the falling block puzzles, you've got the match 3 puzzles, you know, like Bejeweled, or, you know, this to some degree. But how do you take that, you know, it's like if you want to make a puzzle game and you want to do some variant on that, other than changing the theme to, oh, instead of gems we have, I don't know, fruits or something like that, you know, I mean, other than changing really the blocks or the kind of the visual theme, you know, how do you differentiate yourself? And Puzzle Quest was a really cool start, or a really cool, well, yeah, it was a really cool start of a trend where developers took a basic puzzle game type of formula and they added more to it. So Puzzle Quest, what they did is they said, okay, well, let's take a classic kind of RPG game, and instead of having all these turn-based menus and stuff like that, which I don't like at all, I mean, that's, you know, the stories may be kind of interesting, but traditional RPGs, Japanese-style RPGs, I can't get into them a lot of times based on, you know, most of them are really combat-heavy, but the combat systems, to me, are boring. I don't like, if I wanted to use menus, I'd use my computer. But, you know, what they did in Puzzle Quest was really kind of interesting. They said, okay, well, rather than using a menu system, let's make it an actual puzzle game, and we will you'll do battle by a match 3 puzzle game. So we're at the main menu here. As far as text goes, I could see this game, especially on smaller platforms, I probably wouldn't recommend this. So I wouldn't recommend the phone version. I wouldn't recommend necessarily the DS version. A tablet, possibly. But remember when we were talking about 10 Million, I said, well, the PC version was not good for me because I had trouble finding the mouse, and having that extra cursor kind of got in the way. Well, I would say the PC or the console versions. Like I said, I played the Xbox 360 Live Arcade version originally. That's where I discovered it originally. But then I got the PC version when it came to Steam. And I would say that the PC version is probably the one to get because it works really well with the mouse. It's easy to see. And you remember, like I said in the last video, that's why I wanted to shoot this as well, because by contrast, and you'll see even when you get into the game board, the mouse is just much easier for me to see. I can figure out where it is pretty quickly. It has its own little cursor, so it stands out. It's not just using my Windows cursor. But there is actually quite a bit of text in this game, both for if you care about the story and if you want to read that. You're not going to be able to, I think if you have low vision, you're going to have a problem reading that. So that's one reason I would stay kind of away from the portable versions. But more so, like, to be honest with you, I never really paid much attention to the story in the game. I mean, for all I know, it's actually pretty good. But I came to it more for just kind of the unique gameplay and gameplay styles of it. So, and that's what was really fun to me, and I got a heck of a lot of enjoyment out of it. So, where the text for me really comes into play is looking at your different spells, looking at when you go to the shops to upgrade equipment or buy equipment, or stats on different things, stuff like that. All that kind of stuff. That's where you're going to want to have something where you can just be able to read that a little better, and that's why I said I think the PC or the console versions would be the way to go. I'm just going to go to a continue game here. This is pretty much a brand new game. I had it installed, but it didn't apparently. I don't have a save file. I have beaten this already before, a couple years ago. The other nice thing about this is that it does have online multiplayer, and a friend and I did play this for quite a while, and it was pretty fun. Here we got the overhead map, which is where if you're gonna have any trouble seeing things, this is where I could see another potential problem, especially the PC version. Because you actually have to move your mouse around, moving it around, and you have to click where you really want to go. On the console version, if I remember correctly, you can just move the control stick, and if there's a road going to the left or the right or up or down or whatever, you'll travel that path. But in the PC version, like I said, you really do have to find it and click on it. And that can be interesting because sometimes, like I said, we don't have very many icons out here right now, but there's a little icon over here that I could click on, and my character goes there. That's actually pretty small, and I could see people having some trouble with that. This isn't timed or anything, so if it does take you a little while to figure it out and you still do want to play the PC version, it's still doable, but I could see it being a concern for some people, definitely. Especially when you get, like, if this was actually where my objective is, what they do is they put, like right now I've got a little glowing aura around this castle here. But if I had an objective over here, a lot of times they have like a little green glowing aura somewhere, and sometimes it's pretty obvious, sometimes it's pretty close, right where your objective is, but sometimes it may be way the heck over here, and you're thinking, well, okay, it's got to be probably close to my, close to where I'm going, and you're looking, and like I said, you find it's way the hell over here somewhere. There was a few times when playing the game originally where it's like, where is my objective? I found it eventually, but it's like, oh, okay, I guess I didn't expect it to be way over there. So, let's get into this, but I did want to bring up that map screen just because, like I said, that could be another potential problem. So, I'm going to click on my little castle here, and when you get to any kind of checkpoint or waypoint on the map, you get a little pop-up menu that comes up, and depending on where you are, you get different options. So, if you're at a castle, you can get quests, you can view your the Citadel here. This is where you can buy upgrades, so like, you can take over castles, you can siege them and get them over to your territory. And so I can, I can pay for upgrades. I can, they give me in-game bonuses and all kinds of different stuff. Very helpful, and you will want to upgrade your Citadel as quickly as you can as you go. Oh, okay, yeah. So I wanted to get out of the Citadel because I don't have any money. I'm going to, so like I said, I could get quests, the tavern. Here's where you can pick up a lot of different side quests type stuff. So see, we got the little tutorial down here too. And see, this is where I can read this text, but I have to get very close. So even on a larger screen, some of this text is not what I would call the most visually impaired friendly. But if you can get past that, and once you learn the core game mechanics, it's usually not too bad, because the actual playing of the game is pretty easy, I would say. Far more than some of the stuff I've shown so far. So I'm not going to take any side quests yet. I'm going to click on my castle again, and let's see, so I can, like I said, there's a shop, and here is where, like I said, you can buy or sell items. So you really, like, if I click on these, you get little pop-ups that tell you your attributes and stuff like that, so you really do want to, that's why I said I'd probably avoid the portable versions, because, like I said, I looked at the DS version once, and it was really hard to see. I could still kind of play the field okay, but this stuff, forget about it. Without, like, a portable CCTV or something crazy like that, not really gonna happen. So I'm gonna not go to the store. Instead, I will click on the castle again, and let's just, I could view my inventory. Alright, so let's do my actual quest that is here. So again, like I said, I'm right in the beginning of the game, so they're going to be seeing a lot of the same stuff I'm going to be describing to you, so I'm just going to click through it. So like 10 million in the last video, this is a match 3 puzzle game, so you basically have to match at least 3 of the same something to get a combo. The difference between 10 million and this is that this is a turn-based game. You don't really have a time limit. And so it's a lot easier to play in some ways. Like I said, you don't have to worry about, oh god, I gotta do this before I get killed or before I get, whatever. It's turn-based, so it's not a big deal. So before I start to play, I will describe what you're looking at on the screen here. So we got our main playing field, and we have all these different kinds of gems. And we have, I'll kind of tell you what each one of these do. So actually, I figure I was going to describe something else first, but we have a whole bunch of different things. So we have these round gems of different colors. You've got your kind of, your yellow, your red, your blue, your green, and those represent different color mana, and that's how you do magical spells. So over on the left is my character, over on the right is my enemy, and so above my little profile here, I have my red health bar. That's how much health I have. These little bars here are how much mana I have of each color. And down here are the various spells that I have. And they have little number requirements for how much mana is needed before you can cast them. So that's where you want to, match combos and get these different color spells. You have what it's telling me to do here right now is keep hounding me to do is you've got these skulls. These are your attacks. These are your physical attacks. And we'll do that in a minute. You've got these little coins here. These are gold. These are your gold, so you can get more money that way. Down here, these little starry thingies are your mana, or are your, yeah, your overall mana. Or your experience, I'm sorry. What am I saying? Those are your... So you can kind of get some, in addition to what you get for completing a quest or winning a fight, these are experience, so you can get little experience boosts as well. I think that covers pretty much everything, you know, for the core part of it. There are certain mini games in Puzzle Quest, like unlocking different, you know, and learning new spells, where you have scrolls to deal with as well. In Puzzle Quest 2, the actual sequel, there's a lot more different things, because everything that you do in this series is represented by some kind of a puzzle. So like in Puzzle Quest 2, if you want to bash down a door, you have... that minigame will have, in addition to everything else, it'll have different door icons, and you have to match those up, you know, to bash down the door. Picking locks has a different sort of minigame. But Puzzle Quest 1 keeps it a little bit more simple, a little bit more straightforward. But yeah, I mean, so that's essentially how this game works. So like I said, you got your guy on the left, the enemy on the right, and you can actually hover over their spells too. So if you want to see, before you start a fight, if you want to see what kind of crazy crap you're going to have to try to defend from or defend against, you can check it out and say, oh man, this guy's got, you know, he can heal himself, he's got this nasty lightning spell, whatever. So I'm going to just start playing here. Alright, so this one you don't, this is what I was talking about in the 10 million one, where you don't slide things around. This is where you just, you find two that you want, that you want to switch. Like, let's say I want this blue combo here. I'll do that. There we go. Let's get some cash. He's got a nice 4 of a kind there. And if you get, I forget if it's 4 or 5 of a kind, might be 5 of a kind, then you get an extra little wild card block, which can represent any kind of mana that you want. So it's a really good way if you're wanting to cast a certain spell but you don't have enough mana, you can actually kind of take care of stuff like that. So, alright, okay, let's attack him some more. There we go. Oh, yeah. I heard him a fair amount already. Alright, so yes. And this one, the one thing is that, you know, you do have to be careful. Like, you don't want to click the wrong thing by accident, because you will be penalized. You'll be zapped a little bit. Like, if I make an invalid move, you will get zolted and you'll lose your turn. So, you know, you just want to be sure that you get that taken care of. Yada yada. Okay, let's get some gold here. And let's see. Let's do it. No, can't do that yet. Alright, let's get some more red mana. And periodically, if you do wait long enough, like you're not sure, God, what can I do? A lot of times, you can turn this feature off too, but it will pop over a little blinking arrow thing saying, hey, this is a move you can do. You don't have to do that move. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. So, see there, I did an invalid move. That's what happens, you get zolted. So, you don't want to do that. But yeah, oh, another thing I was going to mention about these colored gems earlier was that you've got these greens here, and then you've got these yellows over here. Sometimes, it can be a little bit hard to determine what, they kind of blend together, especially, for people who have who have problems discerning certain color differences. Not only are they colored, but they have different symbols on them. So if you notice, this one over here, the pattern is kind of the opposite of each other. So you can kind of tell, it's like, oh, does that pattern match this one? No, it doesn't. So I'm going to take their advice and match some blue mana real quick. Okay, let's get some extra experience. And just like before, in the other game, I like to kind of do things from the bottom if I can, because I'd like to get a chain reaction going. Sometimes you can get some sweet combos. Let's see. Get more experience. Sure, why not? Red mana, 4 of a kind. And like I said, when this game originally came out, I was so hooked on this game for probably a month or two. I mean, it kind of had the Tetris effect of, like, you hear a lot of times people talking about Tetris where if you've played it a lot, people will see it in their sleep. You close your eyes and you can kind of play the game in your mind. I would go to bed and I would see these game boards and I would see skulls and patterns and, like, just, without even, like, wanting to, I would just be sitting there kind of playing this game in my head just because I played this game so much for a little while there. And it's just really addictive once you get into it. Really addictive. God, they're not giving me skulls at all. So swap these. Ooh, more experience. Okay, those aren't close. God, we got a bunch of them now over here. But we can't... They're not close enough to do anything with. Let's see if I can... Oops. So like I said, if you do actually click the wrong one, you can click the same block and cancel out of it. Okay, so our mana, all except that... Getting mana here. Let's see, what can I do? What can I do? Yeah, I can do that red one, I guess. There we go. Now I can hurt him a little bit. Let's... So I have a couple of different options here. I'm going to try this one. There we go. Oh, nice choice. I'm gonna... Because there's already some stuff over here, I'm gonna switch and kill over there. So I can still have this one ready if I get something else lined up. And... Oh, okay, yeah, I was gonna say, since this is just the tutorial, he's not attacking me back. I'm like, this is way too easy. I didn't even think of that. So normally it would be you take a turn, he takes a turn, and that's where it gets really interesting because, he will, you want to line stuff up, but then you don't want to do it because then he'll get it, and yeah, it gets to be quite interesting. He's almost dead. I'll see if I can get into one more quest that, at least where he's fighting back. Oh yeah, how did I miss that?
You
are victorious. Alright, so I like the music in this game too, the original Puzzle Quest. Really catchy, and when you listen to this stuff, like I said, you've been playing this game for I don't know how many hours I stuck into this. But really overall a pretty good puzzle soundtrack. Not bad, and there's some catchy, catchy background music to it. So in this, we got some experience, we got some gold. Did okay. Alright, good for me.
Complete.
Quest completed. Let's see, let's get another quest. Actually, let's go to the tavern. And these you have to buy, I think. Yeah. I'll just buy as many as I can here. Buy them. Buy all the intel. Alright. Quests. And here's where your different story things come into play. You just get these, each location will have this kind of background, kind of a static background deal with a bunch of dialogues. Again, the print, it's black and white, but the print is pretty small, so, I'm not going to read it on this video and whatnot, but if you don't care about the story and you just want to play, you can just click, 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 done. Alright. Okay, so... boom. So I did that on purpose so you could, like I said, that's what happens when you do that. So I'm going to do a move. And... right, okay, that's what it is. I think it's if, God, like I said, it's been so long since I've played. If you get at least 4 of a kind, you don't lose your turn. So, like, you get an extra turn if you get so many in a row. So it benefits you to get more than 3 of a kind for sure. And then I think 5 of a kind is where you get your wild card block. Okay... yeah. Alright. I guess. So, right, so now he's doing his attack. It's not just me beating up on some helpless enemy here. I think what I'll do is I'll play you through this battle. I'll try to think if there's anything I missed. Like I said, I can't cover everything in this game because it's really pretty deep. The puzzle mechanic is, I've explained that pretty well. But just all the different side quests and sort of the ways that you do it, like, you're going down a path and you will run into creatures that you either have to battle or you can tame them eventually. So, and that gives you different benefits and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's so much to this game. They've taken like a little game of Bejeweled or just a standard little match 3 puzzle game, and they've turned it into this really, really pretty complex game. 10 Million came out after this, and you see what they did there. They came out with a runner and a puzzle game. There was a great little game on the Nintendo DS called Henry Hatsworth. I forget the full title. Henry Hatsworth and the Puzzling Adventure? I can't remember what it was called now, but just Henry Hatsworth, you can look that up. That was a really cool thing where it was a platformer on the top screen. Oh man, you suck. Alright, fine. But it was a platformer on the top screen and a puzzler on the bottom, and you had to switch between them because if you got things you do the puzzle stuff on the bottom, so that you could actually get that you could affect or get items for your top screen. Really cool, but it got really hard really fast. Ay, bastard. Alright, let's get some experience. Give me a 4 of a kind already, would ya? Alright, we'll cast a spell. We haven't done that yet. So this... Oh, nice! Alright. Okay. You want me to switch those? Fine. 4 of a kind. Ooh. Oh man, that would be so good. I wish I'd be 4 of a kind there, but it's not. Alright. Alright, we're hurting him pretty bad. I got better health than he does, so we're good so far. What the hell? Let's get some experience. Oh, no. Oh, okay, good. You're stupid. Okay, because I thought he was for sure going to take those skulls. So instead, I will do that. And when you get further into the game, you know, I mean, they will kind of, you know, play dumber in the beginning, like a newer player would, but when you get to the end, there are some hard battles. I think one of the hardest things in this game for me was there is this one particular castle in the middle of the game, and like I said, you can siege other castles and take them over. And most of them I didn't have a problem with doing, but there's this one castle on the left side of the map. It was just brutal. I could not take over that thing forever. He's just being a complete ass. And I finally did it, but man, he was just fighting back with everything he had. Oh, here we go. Huge combo. See, there we go. There's our wild cards. So, can I make a 4 of a kind out of anything? No. So I will just steal it. Go like that. And when you get those wild cards like that, they boost your mana really good. Alright, I'm a little afraid of what all those skulls in that corner. Alright, cast a spell again, sure, why not? So that, okay, now, that's one I haven't talked about yet. Now we got these glowing red skulls. These can be your best friend or your worst enemy. What they do is, if you get them in a combo, they will not only just, you know, kill the combo, but it'll blow up all the squares around it. So you got here, 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 here. Boom. All of those are gonna go, and if you get a couple of those in a row, man, that can be brutal. And I can't use it yet. We got a couple up there that may. Ooh, what do we got here? Yeah. Alright. Oh, Jesus. Oh, man, do I have that one spell? Spin attack. Oh, can I... Damn it, I don't have... Spin attack is one of my favorite ones, because what it'll do is I can click on any point, it'll turn into like a little crosshair, and what I would do is, because there's a skull up here, it basically acts as one of these red skulls. So I can click here, let's say, on this gold. It'll pop this, but it'll also pop down here, which will chain reaction into pop down here, and it will just mess this guy up. That is one. I mean, it's one of the early spells you get if you play. I think it's the knight character. You know, you have different character classes that you can choose, just like in any kind of RPG. And like I said, that will mess your... I mean, it's an early spell, but it's useful throughout the entire game. Very helpful spell. Okay, what move can I do here? Should make... What's that? Oh god! Okay, I got a 4 of a... Oh, that'll work. Uh-oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good. At least it's not that one. Like I said, I'm afraid of that one skull over there. Yeah. All right, and that music, yeah, that you just kind of heard. When you're getting near death, or your opponent is getting near death, you have different kind of like music that kicks in, saying, "Hey, you know, either hey, you're doing great," or "You're about to die." So again, I am victorious.
Quest complete.
Quest completed. So, like I said, I didn't show you nearly all of the mechanics. I just showed you really the main, some of the interface, some of, you know, how to play the main kind of puzzle board, how to play the main part of the game. Like I said, you use this main puzzle mechanic in different variations or different ways throughout the entire game. So, you know, like I said, to tame a creature, to research or create new spells or whatever. They have different things there that you do, and there's different variants. If I remember correctly, the creatures ones, those are actually more like puzzle ones, where you're given a certain pattern, and you know, it's not a full field, it's a certain pattern, and you have to clear the entire field of gems with what blocks they give, or with what gems they give you, and some of those are a real pain. So rather than having that as a separate mode, like in like a puzzle mode, like in a lot of other puzzle games, instead of just a more real-time or whatever game, they implement that into the core, into a variant for the RPG. But there's all, like I said, especially with Puzzle Quest 2, they vary it up even more. I haven't beat Puzzle Quest 2 yet. I'm pretty far into the Xbox 360 version. I don't think I own it for the PC yet. I was waiting for it to go on sale, because I generally like playing these on the PC. But, I like some of the things that they add in Puzzle Quest 2, but I still, in a way, kind of like Puzzle Quest 1 way better. In between 1 and 2, they also did a game. They spun it off into a Puzzle Quest in space. Oh, why am I drawing a blank? What the heck was that even called? But I was all excited because I thought it was going to be like a sequel kind of thing, and that I didn't like. I didn't like that, the one in space. I didn't like that one much at all. Instead of a square field, they did this octagonal thing, or hexagon, or whatever it was, and I did not like the way... There's a lot in that game I just didn't really care for. But when they went to Puzzle Quest 2 again, they got back to what made the first one really good. So, like I said, this is just a brief overview of Puzzle Quest. To sum things up, like I said, visually, there are some concerns that I would have if you do have low vision, or if you are legally blind, that can, at least initially, give you some problems. Like I said, reading some of these text things, like, you go into a shop, you're reading a quest, or you're reading the story, or a tutorial. Some of that text can be kind of hard to read. There was some stuff where I, would sometimes use a magnifying glass or something like that, just because I couldn't read some weird thing. And some of the fonts, they kind of do this weird, I don't know, classic script kind of font, so some of the letters, like I think the T in tavern, looked a little bit funny. So if I go, actually, let me do that. If I go into the castle, and, oh wait, I don't have the tavern anymore because I took all the quests. But yeah, I mean, you kind of notice that you know, it's a really stylized kind of font, so some of that can make it a little bit harder to read as well. But once you get past, and like I said, you learn a few spells that you like, or you know, you take the time and get a good weapon that you're comfortable with for a while, you don't have to read a whole lot. And the core mechanics, like the field itself, the playing of the game, the icons are large. You're not timed like you are in 10 million. You know, it's turn-based, so you have, you know, that's one of the advantages in this case. It's just a really, really fun game, though. I would, if you can get past those few issues and work around them, Puzzle Quest is, like I said, it's, I think, a modern classic, and they really kind of started the whole, let's make a puzzle game do something else, or let's make an RPG out of all kinds of craziness. You know, they have word puzzle, they have, oh man, I should do a look at that one of these days. There's another game called Bookworm Adventures, where it's basically this weird, like, kind of, like, weird RPG boggle kind of game, and that was fun as hell too. Maybe I'll cover that eventually. But you know, I think Puzzle Quest was one of the early ones that started that kind of trend. Is let's take some simple type of gameplay and make it into something kind of neat. So that is an overview of Puzzle Quest. Hope you enjoyed it, and until the next video, I will talk to you guys later.